Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So it's a great day for us here. I finally received our shipment of our drill indexes that we sent out to anodizing, and these are the ones that we had anodized purple. There was a delay in getting these completed and back to us. There was just there was a few things that was kind of working against us during the month of December and January, but we got past all that. The fellas up there did a good job. They sent me some photos of what they look like. They got them sent back. So what I'm getting ready to do is open these guys up. I want to show them to you, see what they look like. And so these are going to be post engraved, just like the green ones that I recently did. And this is probably how I'm going to continue making the next batch of our drill indexes too, is go ahead and get them anodized and do the engraving of our fractional letters and our serial data on the bottom of them. I'm going to set them back in here in the VM and get that machined after they're anodized. I think it's turning out to be a better looking part, a better looking product. I think when you have it in your hand and you're looking at it and you see the contrast between the anodized finished and the machined characters on there and the logo on the top, I think it just overall makes a more pleasing looking part whenever you're looking at it. So let's see what these guys look like, right? I like them. I think they look good. What do you guys think? We had a really great response to these guys. We had a sample done a couple months ago in the purple, and we shared that on the social channels, photos of it, and there was quite a few people that said that they loved the way that the purple looked, and they were going to hold off on buying one in the purple color. So we've got 50 of these guys that I'm getting ready to engrave and try to get them ready to put on the website and have available. So I think it looks pretty good. So I think once we do our engraving, this is going to make it, it's going to make it really pop and look great. So we're going to set it up in our Tool X vise there, and we're going to machine the fractional letters across the racetrack there that corresponds with the holes for the drill. We're going to deck the A-Bomb 79 logo off, just take 1/1000 off the top or however much we need to get that cleaned up properly and have a nice shiny logo on the top there. And for this one, what I would like to do that I did not do on the greens, I pulled one out just so we could kind of compare it. So here's the green that we recently did, and one of the things that I'm going to do this time on the purple that I did not do here with the green is the outline of the border for the A-Bomb 79 logo. We're going to go ahead and touch that as well, and I'm going to go ahead and touch up all of the outside of the letters there as well, and just kind of go ahead and soften up that edge more. And I think it might make it look even better whenever we do that. So this is what we previously did, and then we're going to see if we can make it look even better on the purple. And if it looks better, of course, we'll continue doing that with future batches there as well. We do have, I have another 50 of these guys that were sent out, and we're going to go ahead and get the red anodized done again. When we first launched these guys, we sold out of the red immediately, which was kind of surprising to us because we thought the green was going to be the best seller, but you just never know in these how this is going to be. So once we get the red back, we'll have a few more of these in stock. The green, we'll probably have some purple in stock, and then we'll have some red in stock there as well. And I think that should carry us over for a while, and that'll give you a few color options out there anyway. So let's get this guy set up and see how our post engraving is going to look on the purple. All right. These soft jaws have to be 100% clean when you go to put these guys in here. One little speck of a chip inside these steps here, and it will mar the finish. And we try to minimize that the best we can. So usually between when I go to set another one in there, I blow it out really good, and I take these microfiber cloths and I just give it a wipe to try to catch anything that might be still stuck there. And that should be good to go right there. Set it in there and try not to scratch it. This does not take very much pressure, so usually once I can feel where it actually stops and it tights, I just apply just an extra amount of torque, minimal. That's all it needs to hold that right there. And if it makes you feel any better, I've done this, it haven't shown any improvement, positive, negative. But you can take a clean soft blow hammer and just give it a bump. It doesn't, I'm telling you, it doesn't make a difference on this one way or the other. I found that just setting them in there and tightening them up works just as good as tamping them down one time. It doesn't make any difference. Still gets it done just the same. I've got all 48 of our drill indexes engraved on the top side. This is the first box there. This is the second box. All engraved on the top side. So next up, I'm going to set these face side down over here on this vise here, and I'm going to go ahead and engrave all of the data information on the bottom, including the serial number. So that's what I'm going to get started on next. I think they look good. Hopefully you guys are liking that. The color is really working on me. At first I wasn't too sure, but I've already shared one post on Instagram and Facebook, and the folks that have decided to comment on it really like it. And I think it's turning out nice. So I'm going to keep working on this, get it set up for our serial engraving. We'll show you a couple shots of that and see if we can get these guys finished up, because I'm ready to get them on the website. Okay, we've been working on getting the data machined on the bottom of our drill indexes. You can see it right there. We're getting our serial numbers machined on there. And I was running into a minor issue on the height. Okay, so it took me a little while to kind of sneak up on the right depth that I wanted to be at, which by the way is between 4 and 5 thousandths. So this is a super handy gauge here from Starrett. It's the number 643, and it's the needle point. And if you have this gauge, you can measure the depth of small features like that. And when I first started machining these guys and using this gauge, I was happy around 4 to 5 thousandths deep on our engraving. And that's using a 1/16 diameter ball end mill, by the way. So I was getting some inconsistencies this row right here. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not, but there's a couple of these that are a little bit shallower. That's where we started right there. And now we have a more consistent depth right here. And I talked to my buddy Steve at Miltronics, and he taught me something new. This is the first time we've done this on our CNC mills here. He said, well, we can use the probe and come in here, since we've got two work offsets. This is our G56, this is our G57 work offset. And oh, by the way, I also set up I got my height gauge here with a dial indicator, and I wanted to go ahead and inspect the height of the pockets to see, is that something that's messing me up? So I did put that in here. I measured it. These two pockets, not quite a thousandths, but they are slightly different from each other. So that right there is going to give you differences in depth here as well. So I need to remachine the vise. I don't know why it's moved or what's changed, but we've got almost a thousandths difference in that. And I think going through and machining these guys, every one of these, including these over here, you have a slight parallel or thickness difference of almost a thousandths of an inch. So that's going to change every time you put one in there. One may be a little higher than the other, so it's changing the consistency of the depth of our engraving. So when I mentioned that to Steve, he says, well, I can show you how to run the probe cycle on here before you actually machine the part. So we modified the program here with his help using conversational. We added it to our sub program, which is the engraving. So what it's going to do, every time I put two pieces in here, hit cycle start, first thing it's going to do is get the tool setter, the Renishaw probe, and it's going to probe the Z height of G56. It's going to move over here and touch off on G57, and it's going to compensate and adjust to where exactly these two surfaces are for those two work offsets. So that way, when the tool comes in here and machines it, it's the same depth no matter where we are. Now, you do have to consider maybe there's a slight difference in parallelism, but that's not an issue for what we're doing. We're just putting our data on here, so not a huge issue. So that is helping tremendously right there. So that actually started with these. We'll talk about this one in a second. Serial number 218, 19, and 20. Now we have 21 and 222. And now hopefully we're going to have nice consistent depths on our data. Now if you look over here at this guy, we have a mess up. Serial number -999, $9.99, $9.99. So we have 3 that are kind of messed up on our serial number. So I think we're just going to leave these guys alone. We're not going to try to fix these. These will go into our scratch and dent on the website, which if you don't know about scratch and dent, every time we go through some of these, we have some that are not perfect, and we do have some that might have some dents or scratches on it from shipping and handling and things like that. So I think these 3 right here, we're going to leave these alone, and we're going to let 3 people buy these with a -999 serial number on that. And you guys know the story behind that. Well, actually, I didn't tell you what happened. You have to go into your user parameter and put the number in there that you want to start with. And when I put the number in there and saved it, ended up cutting this right here, $9.99. So I went in there. I was like, well, maybe I didn't save it. I went in there, I changed it, saved it, ran another part, cut the same thing. I wasn't sure, maybe I didn't save it right. So I went back in there one more time, edited it, saved it, and it still cut at $9.99. So I stopped, I talked to Steve, and I told him what was going on. And we had to use a different user parameter in the controller. We were using parameter P10, and apparently user parameter P10 in the controller, the Renishaw probe was trying to use the same parameter as the serial engraving. So we had to change that, and we went to a different user parameter in there for the serial number. He told me which one to go to. We did some edits. Now we have it online. Now we have it tracking the way that it's supposed to, and it's working good. So every time you put 2 more parts in there and you hit cycle start, it will continue to count up from this. So the next, so we got 22. So the next one will be 223 and 224. So I'm real happy about that. Really cool learning something new and being able to use, learning that we can now use our Renishaw probe that we keep in the machine there to actually touch off on surfaces like this before we machine it. That's something cool that I'm glad that I'm learning about. I didn't realize that was something that we can do, so I really appreciate Steve for throwing that suggestion out, and now we can use that to our advantage. So we're going to keep going. I'll give you a couple videos of the engraving just to throw in there to the video, but we're going to keep working our way through this in this box over here, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting our little 3M rubber feet and put on the bottom while these guys are engraving. I decided, since I had a couple of these that weren't consistent and now we're getting consistent, we're going to go back in and we're going to re-engrave. So I started with 205 and 206. Thought I would show this to you. You might find it interesting. So we're going to go into user parameters and F7 user. This is our parameter column. So there's a bunch of these in there that the machine uses for lots of different things. We're focused on P500. That's the line that is going to correspond to the number that we want to engrave for our serial number. So whatever we are engraving on that line for the serial number, it's going to be whatever you input here. And every time it engraves a number, it's going to count up 1. So I just recut 10, but what I want to do is 205, 206. These are the first 2 that I did. They're a little shallow, so we're going to make them the same. So we want to make sure that we put 205. We're going to just backspace and put 205, and you have to hit enter. And then once you do, that's stored in there. And then we'll just back out of here, go to our run program, start. So it's going to change to our Renishaw tool probe, touch off probe. And it's just going to probe, like I said, the G56, G57 for our Z. We have it programmed in there that it's going to go to the center of both of those work offsets, so it knows exactly where to go to touch off. Just touch G56. Now we're going G57. And now we'll change back to our ball mill, and it's just going to go in there and cut those out again slightly deeper. I measured them being about 2/1000, so I can see it making some chips there. So like I said, those there was a few that were a little inconsistent. I got one more right here, and I'll just double check them. I believe this one here is slightly under 2. This was the last one that I did before I had talked to Steve about this issue that I was having. So I think 211 and 217, I'll recut those so that they're all consistent. But you have to remember to go into your user parameter and change that number before you start the program again, or else you're going to cut whatever next number is in line from what you just cut. All right, here's our 205, 206. Let me just recut. Yeah, that looks good. It just makes me feel better knowing that we're now getting consistent depths on all of our parts there. So like I said, we got 11 and 17. I'm going to do those, and that'll clear up everything, and then we'll just keep counting up from there. Got 211 loaded up. We're just going to do a quick inspection here with our gauge to see what it was cut at. I've got this calibrated to a 0, by the way, so that's 1.5 thousandths deep on that particular line right there. Just under 1.5 thousandths. So we're looking for 4 to 5 thousandths on that gauge on our depth. So I'm going to change the user parameter to set 211 and cut this one, and then once it cuts this one, I just stop the feed, stop the program, and then we'll reset, and I'll put 217 in there. I think that's what it was. And then we'll cut that one. We just finished engraving our last two, 48 or 248, 249. Those are the last two to put the rubber feet on. Those two right there. These three are our scratch and dents. So we'll get these rubber feet on this and that'll complete the stack. Well, this batch of purple anodized drill indexes are completed now. This was the last one right here, serial number 249. I'm real happy with the results. I think they turned out nice. I hope you guys like them. We've had quite a few people say that they were holding out for the purple once they saw the sample and said that we were going to do some of these in purple. Had a few folks say that they were going to wait and purchase one then. So I hope that those folks that are holding out like the look of these things, like the color. And I'm real happy with the improvements that we continue to make. You know, we started with our green, solid green, and we had our red, solid red. And with this post engraving that we're now doing on the drill index, I think overall it's making a much nicer, aesthetically pleasing part to have. So we're going to definitely carry on. Every drill index we machine, I'm going to continue doing this, and if there's any other kind of improvements that might look good, you know, we may do that as well. We've had some other suggestions, but I think for now we're just going to kind of stick to this. This is working good. All of our engraving on the bottom has turned out great. I got to give another big thanks to my buddy Steve there at Miltronics for suggesting what he did by using our inboard tool setter to come in here and touch off both of our work offsets once we have the material in there, to ensure that the depth that we're engraving these are consistent and they're all the same. And I've measured several of them. My target is 4 thousandths deep on all the engraving there. And I'd say, you know, plus or minus 1 thousandths is kind of what I'm shooting for. And they're all measuring right about 4 thousandths deep. And that makes me feel a lot better that we have consistency now on our engraving. I really like the look of that. We've had a lot of people make suggestions on why don't you just get you a laser and engrave that. I understand that that is going to speed this up tremendously, but this is a personal thing of mine. I really, really like the look and the feel of a machined logo in there, the lettering. You can feel that with your fingers, and it's just a personal touch that I personally want to do to my parts here. I know that it's taken longer to do that, but for now, we're just going to stick with this. We're invested in the machines. These are the parts that I'm making. We do want to invest in a laser engraver, and we're going to at some point. It's just not, we're not there yet. But one of these days we'll probably end up doing this with the laser engraver. But right now I'm real happy with the machine engraved finish on these, so we're just going to stick to that. I've got another batch of these that we're getting ready to send out to anodizing. I need to get them going. The next color is probably going to be red, because we had those sold out immediately, and I didn't expect that. And so we're probably going to go with red. And I think once we have those reds done and in stock, we're most likely going to have, I still got some greens left. We'll have green, most likely have some purple, and then we'll have some red. So my goal is to have a few different colors as options for those that are interested in these drill indexes, and all available on the website. We do still have some drills left. I'm getting down to the last bit of drill sets that I have in stock. So those are going to be very limited whenever these are available. I need to put in another order to Greenfield to get some more drills coming. It's such a big expense to get the drills. I wanted to sell what we had invested before I made another order, but we will be getting more drills, probably just a smaller count next time to go along with these. But you can always buy these by themselves and, you know, get your own set of drills. And that's what a lot of people like to do. They want their own, whatever drills they like to put in there. But we're going to continue to have that as an option. You can buy it with or without drills. So real happy with the outcome here, and can't wait to have these offered up on the website for sale. Real happy with the Miltronics. It's working real good. And I also wanted to plug the Kaiser. It's doing fantastic. We have not had one issue from our Kaiser air compressed system in the shop here. It continues to perform every single day just like it's supposed to. We come in here every day and get to work, and we can rely on that compressor and our Miltronics to get this work done. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed sharing this with you. I'm always learning something new. I was really happy that I learned how that we can use our tool probe to come in here and touch off parts just like we did there. So that's something that I'll have under my belt now. I can continue to utilize that whenever we need to, and help improve the quality of our parts that we're making on the machines. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed watching and follow along today, and I hope you come back for the next project. All right, we'll see you guys then.